All our readings today are asking us to reflect on our priorities. What is important to us? What are our treasures? And where do we keep them? A fun question to ask, or a game to play, is if your house were on fire, what two things would you grab as you fled from the house? One item for each hand. If you were stranded on a desert island, what 5 things would you want to have with you? Does the survivalist within you kick in and you hope for a flare gun, matches, compass, knife, and a cell phone? Or does the sentimentalist take over and you choose a family picture, some family treasure that's been passed down for generations, your spouse or children, and a good book? What is important to you? What are your treasures? The main answer and theme of these readings is to not put stock in any earthly possessions, because the things of this world won't save you. Jesus is the only one who can save us and bring us to where all our treasure should be, heaven. However, this is not always easy, and I think there's an important distinction to be made. Owning things and having material treasures are not bad in and of themselves. Owning things, Catholic social teaching is very clear that all people have a right to private property. That being said, our priorities need to be centered on God. Therein lies the distinction we need to make between the good of owning material possessions and how we prioritize our love and affection of those possessions compared to our love and affection of God. Everything we have and do needs to be for the greater glory of God. This is why we gather here each week to give praise and glory to God for the week behind and for the week ahead. The same is true for everything we own. It's good to own a home so that our spouse and children will be safe and the family can flourish. It's good to have family treasures so that we can remember the stories and history of our parents who came before us, and we can learn from them and their stories. It's good to own other things like cars and computers and cell phones so that we can travel safely, support ourselves and our families, and continue to learn and educate ourselves. It's not a bad thing to have possessions. But do we put these possessions ahead of God or use them for His glory? I hope that there's an obvious difference between owning a car for safe travel to and from locations and owning a series of cars for the sake of having an expensive collection and showing them off as a means to look important or rich. I hope there's also an obvious difference between owning a home for the safety and formation of your family and owning a massive amount of real estate just because you can. All of us are called to live lives of simplicity and to give away what we can for the benefit of others. Francis Cardinal George, of very happy memory, once said, "The poor need the rich to survive, and the rich need the poor to get into heaven." Once we have made all the responsible decisions with our finances that our state in life requires of us, what do we do with the money left over? When we get a new sweater or coat for the winter, do we give away the old one or keep it because it's mine? Do we really need to stop at Starbucks each day? Or can we make our own coffee at home and give that extra money to the poor person standing outside of Starbucks? I'm being challenged just as much as you are today to think about my priorities. I would like to get a new television for my room here in the rectory. And while I want to have the 50-inch 4K Ultra HD television, I have student loans to start paying off, along with some other bills that I now receive. By the way, I don't like being an adult at all. And I'm struggling with how much and to whom should I donate money. As much as I want that sweet TV, having what I want won't be for God's glory, just my own. So I will be making my loan and bill payments, which will force me to pick a more simple TV, and with what's left, I hope to give away. But again, that's hard. And so, my brothers and sisters, let's use this Eucharistic sacrifice to examine our priorities and how we can put our treasures in heaven and not hold on to what we have or want to have on earth.